Hi, I'm Luce. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be picking my August TBR. For August, I wanted to do something a little bit different. If you've watched my channel, you may have seen for May and also July, I had my besties pick my TBR for me, and I quite like losing a little bit of control of my TBR because you might be able to tell from behind me, I have a lot of books. I mean, my bookshelves extend from beyond here as well. I have a lot of books, so when it comes to just picking what I'm in the mood for, sometimes I do get a little bit overwhelmed, I do struggle a little bit, and so having some of that control taken away in some capacity is nice, and also kind of forces me to pick up books that I maybe wouldn't gravitate towards as much anyway, that may have been languishing on my shelves for quite a long time. So yeah, inspired by a lot of my favourite creators on BookTok and BookTube, I have made my own little TBR. Well, this is in a jar. This is like a little, I don't know what it's called, receptacle that I got in a Fairy Loot box, but I have all of my prompts in here. And I'm going to, I think, pick 8. I'm going to aim for 8. If I end up with a load of massive books, I may do a little less. If I end up with a lot of short books, I may add a couple more. We'll just kind of see how it goes. August is a month for me that it's not especially busy for the most part. I think the only plans I have that I can think of, at least, are right at the end of August. So for a week at the end of August, my bestie cousin from Canada is coming to stay with me for a week. And I'm not anticipating getting a lot of reading done while he's here, if I'm being honest, because I feel like we are either going to just be like hanging out and yapping, or we are visiting other family of ours kind of around the country a little bit. So I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of downtime. I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of like free reading time towards the end of the month, but I have nothing on for like, I don't know, 3/4 of it, and I am feeling in a reading mood again. I was feeling a tiny bit slumpy, kind of end of May, June into the beginning of July. I feel like I've kind of beaten that. It might have something to do with the fact that I just had 2 5-star reads in a row. Maybe that's helping me. But yeah, I'm very excited to pick my TBR, and I already feel like I've been yapping for too long, so we are going to get into picking the first prompt. So I feel like I may have made a mistake with this specific receptacle because there's not a lot of space for me to like shuffle, and I have quite a few prompts in here. So we may, if I do this again next month, we may have to upgrade to a slightly bigger jar type of thing, but I'm just going to take this prompt because it did just fall out. So this one, ooh, is my autofocus going to work? No, it's not. But it says favorite author. So favorite author, let me have a think. Who are some of my, see, okay. I'm looking at my shelves, and one of the options is Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff, because he's one of my favorite authors and I have been putting that book off. But it does intimidate me, it is pretty long. I have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I could read Brother Song by T.J. Klune. Okay, I'm actually not going to read any of those though. I have a better one in mind. Okay, so I am going to be putting Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo on my TBR. I have been putting this off since I bought it. I pre-ordered it. I got it when it came out. And I've been a little bit scared of reading it because there was a really long gap between the release of book 1 and the release of book 2. But I love Ninth House so much. It is one of my favorite books. I also love the Six of Crows duology. I read the Grisha trilogy and like, I don't love it, but like what I have loved from Leigh Bardugo, I have loved so deeply. And I have been really excited about this book for years. So I think it is finally time that I read Hellbent. Okay, prompt number 2. Let's go for this one. Oh, this one's just audiobook. I need to fix my autofocus so that it actually works, but it says audiobook, I promise. So this can be any book that has an audiobook that I want to listen to. I have anything specifically on my Audible purchase that I haven't listened to. Oh, actually, I was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go like through my Everand and look at my library. No, I know exactly what I'm gonna be listening to. It's gonna be Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This I put as a tentative on my July TBR. Spoiler alert, I obviously didn't get to it in July. But I reread the original Mortal Instruments trilogy in June, had the best time ever, and I want to continue on with my reread, and I think it was my last reread of The Infernal Devices I listened to the audiobooks for, and I really liked the audiobooks, so I am going to be continuing on with that. And yeah, Clockwork Angel is on the TBR. Okay, prompt number 3. So far, I don't want to jinx it, so far this TBR is looking pretty good. Okay, let's go for this one. A cozy fantasy. Okay, I do not have a lot of cozy fantasies on my TBR, but there is one that I put on my Our Fantasy Bingo TBR, which I am really excited to get to, and that's Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. Like I said, Our Fantasy Bingo TBR for, I think the prompt was just cozy fantasy. I've never read a T. Kingfisher, but I know that they have like so many books and a lot of them sound really interesting to me, but I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book and this series in general. This one is a darkly whimsical cozy fantasy featuring sock knitting paladins, badass perfumers, courtroom hijinks, and heart-racing romance. So kind of sounds like everything that I'm gonna love in a book if I'm gonna love a cozy fantasy, and the covers are just insanely beautiful for this. Okay, prompt 4. Again, still really happy with my TBR. What I don't want right now, looking at this stack and knowing my kind of August plans, I know I have big book in here and I also have book that intimidates me, so I don't want either of those. A 2025 release. That is so vague. There are so many of them. Ooh, 2025 release that I really want to read. I feel like for a new release, I'm going to be looking mainly at my book subscription books because those are all new releases. I haven't really pre-ordered that much. Although, ooh, actually, just because in the back of my mind, I know that I might end up pulling a really big book, I'm going to go with Ascension by S.T. Gibson. This is the sequel to Evocation, which I read earlier this year, and it is still one of my favorite books that I've read in the whole year, and I have been so excited about this one. And this one is really short. Like, I think this is like probably just over 300 pages. Yes, this one is 335, and I flew through the first one. I think I read it in like 2 or 3 sittings, so I think this is one that I'm going to get through very quickly. In the first book we have one of our main characters, David, who is dealing with some kind of possession type situation that he doesn't really feel like he's equipped to deal with. So he ends up recruiting the help of his ex-boyfriend and his ex-boyfriend's new wife in order to help him with this situation. This series has a lot of really interesting kind of occult type stuff in it, witchy stuff, and it also has, in my opinion, one of the best polyamorous relationships. I think that the way that it is discussed and explored in here is fantastic, both in terms of like the romantic kind of sexual element of it, but also the platonic. I love S.T. Gibson in general. I'll read anything she writes, but this series, I think if this book goes the way that I think it will, this is probably going to be a new all-time favorite series for me. Okay, with the way this is going, I think we're going to be going for 8. I think 8 feels good to me. Let's go for this one. Kindle TBR. So in my mind when I put this prompt on here, it could either be a thing that I have out from Kindle Unlimited currently, or it could be something that I actually own on Kindle that I bought with money. Oh, but I feel like I have too many good options because I really want to read The Poisoner by, is it Ivy Ophelia? Ivy Ophelia, because bestie Caitlin just read that and she really enjoyed it. I also really want to read Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose, purely because I heard an audio clip from book 4 on TikTok and it's Teddy Hamilton and I love Teddy Hamilton. So I really want to read that series, and that's like cowboy romances but a little bit taboo. Let me see, what else have I got? Oh, I mean, one that I'm just not going to be putting on the TBR because it's like 1,800 pages. I have a Danmei webcomic that I really want to read called I Can Do It by Dian Jing, which is a League of Legends queer web novel. And I really want to read that, but I'm not going to put it on the TBR because, like I said, it's so long. So I'm just going to read that in the background, I think. I also have The Lies of Lena, which I really want to try. Lady of Shadows, I really want to read. Secrets of the Forgotten Grove. I'm making a decision. I'm going to put Secrets of the Forgotten Grove by Ronna McKenna on there. This is a book that I have been meaning to read for quite a while, and I actually feel really bad that I haven't, because this book is written by one of my friends' friends, and I have really wanted to read it. Like, genuinely, I've been really excited about it. I just haven't got around to it. So yeah, I'm gonna put that one on. I believe as well, if I remember correctly, she is currently writing book 2 right now, which is very exciting. But this, I believe, is a dark fantasy romance. The top little tagline says, "The forest knows her name and the storm she is destined to become." But I am really, really excited to give this one a go, and I think I'm gonna love it. Okay, number 6. Let's go for this one. Found Family. I keep trying to show you as if you can actually see, but autofocus. Found Family. I mean, oh, I have one that is the first thing that comes to mind when I think Found Family, but I don't think I'm ready to read it, which is Brother Song by TJ Klune. It's the final book in the Green Creek series, and it's one of my favorite series of all time, but it emotionally devastates me. Like, my eyes will tear up just thinking about it, so I don't think I'm gonna pick that for August. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna pick. Okay, I feel like this counts. In my mind, this counts. I'm gonna put Savage Fae by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. I know, based on reading Zodiac, that the Found Family vibes in there were absolutely immaculate, and they were some of my favorites. And I have been dying to carry on with this series since I read the first one in, God, when was it? Was it April? I think it was April. Jesus Christ. It's been a while, and yeah, I loved the first one. I know that these authors are not for everyone. I know that not everyone loves the writing and all that. I love it so much. Zodiac Academy is one of my all-time favorite series, and this one is set, is it like 5? I think it's like 5 years maybe before the start of Zodiac Academy, and it's set at a different academy. Is it Aurora Academy? I think it might be Aurora Academy. And we follow our main character whose brother has gone missing, and he attended this academy, and so in order to find out what happened to him, she attends the academy and is investigating the kings of the school, but obviously she ends up kind of falling for them. It is a reverse harem Why Choose. I don't know if there's any actual poly kind of stuff in it. I think it might just be Why Choose. But yeah, I've been absolutely dying to get back into this series. Okay, prompt 7. I'm having a good time. I might just choose 10. And if I don't finish the TBR, I don't finish the TBR. But I'm having a good time. But yeah, prompt 7 is a recent purchase. What have I bought recently? I feel like I haven't actually bought myself that many books recently. I've been pretty good. I think I've made my decision. I think I want to read Casewell Compendium. This is by, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this, so please, I'm so sorry. Robao Buchiro. I know that people online just call the author Meat Bun. So Casewell Compendium by Meat Bun. This, I've heard a lot about this series. A lot of really interesting things about this. This is, like I said, it's a Danmei series, which is a Chinese boys love series. And this one says, the devil and his doctor. Wealthy and handsome, yet mentally unstable, Hiyu has returned from overseas with one goal in mind: to win the heart of Jiju, the girl of his dreams. However, in his time away, he has nursed more than unrequited feelings. He must confront the long-held grudge against Jiju's overprotective brother, Ji Qincheng? I'm so sorry about my pronunciation. Who doesn't think Hiyu capable of love. But history is not easily rewritten. As Hiyu's former doctor, Ji Qincheng is the only person in the world who truly understands Hiyu's volatile mental state. When the two are involved in an explosive incident that exposes a dark secret, Ji Qincheng's suspicion about Hiyu are confirmed. Now Hiyu must confront his own demons, including his own dark obsession with Ji Qincheng. Now, I am going to be looking up pronunciations for this because from my experience with Danmei, they always have pronunciations. I stumbled over reading English words, so like, you know, I'm a struggle. But yeah, this, I believe, is going to be toxic. It is going to be messy. It is going to be kind of dark. And I believe also pretty smutty from what I've heard. So I'm really excited. One thing I love about these physical copies of Danmei books is the illustrations in them. I think they are so much fun. I think they're so cute. So yeah, I'm going to be putting Casewell Compendium on my August TBR. Okay, prompt number 8. I'm going to do 10. I just for fun. Oh, that one just flew out, so we're going to do this. A romantasy. I have a lot of romantasy books that I would like to read. Let me once again consult my Kindle TBR, because I feel like that's where a lot of the romantasy that I want to read resides. Ooh, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a little switch. I'm gonna switch something around. So I had for my Kindle TBR, I put The Secrets of the Forgotten Grove. I am going to be putting that in for the romantasy prompt now, and I'm going to put Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rosen for my Kindle TBR, because I want to try out cowboy romance. I haven't like got into it the way that other people have in the last like, what is it, like year or so? But I'm intrigued, and this one, because it's like taboo, it's got me a little bit more excited. This I know is ex-boyfriend's dad, and it's cowboys. So yeah, I still have Secrets of the Forgotten Grove in, I'm just switching it around, and I am also putting in Chasing the Wild. Okay, prompt number 9. Let's go for this one. Sprayed Edges. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I have an entire shelf of books with sprayed edges, and that's not all of them. These are just some of my favorites. So I have quite a lot of options. What am I in the mood for? I feel like what I'm potentially leaning towards picking is a YA fantasy, because I don't have a YA fantasy in this entire stack, and I have been really in the mood and like really feeling YA fantasy at the moment, just because I feel like it's really fun. So I think a YA fantasy could be the move. This also happens to have one of my favorite sprayed edges of a book I've received recently, but this is The Glittering Edge by Alyssa Valere. This one I got in a Fairy Loot box. When was it? Was it like May or April? I think it was something around there. It was one earlier this year, and I have been really excited to read it since I got it. It's giving me Raven Boys vibes a little bit. We're following a girl and these 2 boys from rival families, and there is a curse surrounding the rival families. I don't really know. Again, I don't want to know too much about it. I just know it's giving me Raven Boys vibes. It's kind of like occulty, spooky, but also found family, and also maybe all vibes, no plot. We'll see. But the sprayed edges on this are, like I said, some of my favorites ever. I think they are so stunning. This whole book is beautiful. Like, I love the naked hardback, and like the end paper art's insane. So like, yeah, I'm very excited to read this one, and I feel like this is going to be a very good time. Okay, now on to our actual final book of the month. This already, like, I'm looking at this TBR and I'm thinking I'm being way too optimistic with what I'm going to be able to read, but you never know. You never know. I might have an absolutely outstanding reading month. Okay, this one's giving me good vibes. A TBR veteran. So one that I've had on my shelves, on my TBR for a long time. That's actually pretty hard, because I feel like I either have read a lot of the books that I've owned for a really long time, or I've got rid of them because I don't have any interest in reading them. I don't tend to hold on to books that I've owned for a long time if I haven't read them, because I'm like, if I've owned this book for 5 years and I've never once picked it up, I'm probably not going to. Okay, so this copy of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, it is pretty new. Like, I got this I think last year, so this hasn't been on my shelves for a really long time, but I've had this book marked on my Goodreads TBR for, I believe, a really long time. Let me actually double check. Yeah, I marked this as want to read in 2021, August of 2021, so 4 years ago. I feel like that counts. I have been wanting to read more Mariana Zapata since I read From Lukov with Love. I think it was last year that I read it, and I really enjoyed that book. So I think we're going to be going for The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I'm really excited to read this one. Like I said, I have this gorgeous Fairy Loot copy. So this one, it says that our main character Vanessa becomes the assistant slash housekeeper slash fairy godmother to the top defensive end in the National Football Organization, washing extra large underwear. Yeah, so I think it's kind of like an enemies to lovers. She is the assistant slash housekeeper slash fairy godmother to this football player who I can't remember if he's got like an injury or he's been put on like some kind of like behavioral leave. I can't remember what it is, but I know that they don't get along. And then does he ask her to marry him? I think it's like a marriage of convenience, fake marriage type of thing, something like that. As you can tell, I put this on my TBR 4 years ago. My memory is gone, but I'm still really excited. I think that this is one that I'm going to really, really love. And then that concludes my August TBR. So I'm going to quickly just like run back through them with you, just in case you forgot in the span of this video what I'm going to be reading. So I obviously have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, The Glittering Edge by Alyssa Valere, Case File Compendium Volume 1, Savage Fae by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti, Ascension by S.T. Gibson, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, Secrets of the Forgotten Grove by Rhonda McKenna, and Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. Those are the 10 books. I don't have all of them physically, and even still, just looking at this stack, I definitely got carried away. I definitely got carried away. Do I think I'm going to be able to finish this entire TBR in August? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'm going to give it my best shot. Honestly, I'm so excited about all of these books. They're all ones that I have either been actually really eagerly anticipating, or they're books that I've been excited to read but have just like never been priority on my TBR. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'll get back to you in my August wrap up on whether or not I actually managed to read, I mean, any of these, but also all of these. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in a new video again soon. Bye!